Okay, good morning, guys. So, we'll continue with our playlist on solid design principle. So, if you have not like a lot of my single responsibility principle practical example in .NET Core, .NET 7 console application framework, so please watch it out, guys. And this is now the second solid design principle, also in .NET Core, .NET 7 console application, and C Sharp. But this is not only applicable in C Sharp language, but also applicable to any programming language. So this is now the second principle, the open close principle. Open close principle of solid design principle. So this open close principle simply states that a software, a class or a module should be open for extension. So remember this, open for extension. This is the keyword, open for extension and close for modification or close for modification. So it's meant to say, guys, if you design your or a particular class or a program, should not you should adhere to the solid principle of enclosed principle that your class, basically because we are talking about object-oriented programming, is open for extension and closed for modification. Now to understand it clearly, we should give an example here, right? So open close principle, guys, is a prerequisite of single responsibility principle, right? So for example, guys, we'll take a look on this. For example, in my previous project, I generate a lot of reports. So although I'm not, I'm not. This is just. I mean, I'm not opening the previous project I'm talking about. But this is for the sake of example. I just make it very not functional, but it's just a demonstration. Okay, so I have a class, for example, public class. Let's say reporting, because I have this is for reports, so I have class reporting, and as I told you guys, there are lots of reports that I can generate because I am working with global logistics system. So in customer to field program, I have, for example, I can generate a report, public ball generate reports. Yeah, generate report. All right, so let's see, just generate report, and then you have your functionality code here, code for generation, for example, like that. So maybe this time you just generate an standard report or an HTML format, or because we are talking about my previous project, which is an EDI. So an EDI format can have 856C, 856A, something like that. So they are different, or an XML format report. So this is just example. That's violating open clause principle, and we will we will solve it how to make it adherent to the open clause principle, right? So generate report, I can just say return true. It's done generation for simplicity. Okay, all right, guys. So initially, for example, the requirement was just to generate a report, and for example, it's an XML format. So it's fine, guys. This this code is working if you instantiate that class, or if you apply dependency injection also to the calling program. For example, if it's in the web API, you can just inject that class. All right, so it's working. Now the problem, guys, requirement is report. Uh, if for example, I talking, you have another kind of report. 856C or HTML format or any format. So all you have going to do is also to make here public world, then generate for example 856C format like that. Okay. So you can say that return false for example like that. So now if you modify the code, we modify this code is against now. So it's against now to the open close principle because it states that the class, so we have created the class reporting to open for extension but close for replication. So what happened? We are modifying it. So we are adding a new method there in that class reporting. So this code now is violating the open close principle. Alright, so let's design that and make that the class as per the principle of open close and design principle. So this is not adherent to, yeah, this is not adherent to open close principle because if you have a new report type, you adding you're adding in the class reporting a new method, so it will offer or it will have another bugs for example. So to make it adherent to the second solid principle, we have to design it like this. Okay, this is the solution. Close principle solution. So first we have to design and we have to introduce an interface. So we have public interface and we'll make it I report or I, because this is reporting, we just I generation report, I generation reporting, anything, any naming you can. I, so this is interface. The convention is will start at I. So I generation reporting. So from that you can have, for example, ball generate report. Yeah, like that. Okay, so this is your signature of your interface. And then guys, for example, you have to create your concrete class now. For example, you have your public class. Let's say, for example, I have generate generate it HTML report like that. So this generate HTML report class. Well, in here it, why I put a method here. You'll inherit your I generation report. So once you inherit that, it will have an error if you will not implement. So we implement the interface. So you have now your generation report here. So for example, you just see return false here. And this code is for HTML generation, right? And then, yeah, so in the above code, we have made the use of interface inheritance. So we have added an interface for generating report function. So we implemented the interface in the class generate HTML report. To add code to generate HTML report format, and this is fine because the original requirement. Now, as per the new requirement to generate report with other report, for example, 856C, 856F, all you have to do is just to create another class. For example, so we have another class, public class, generate 856C format report like that, and also you have to inherit I generation report of the class. So this way, guys, your existing class identity report is open for extension. So you are not modifying it, but of you you are just inheriting it, and this is another open for that's why open for modification like that, and then you are going to implement it. So open close, you can achieve it by using an interface. Okay, so this one generation report, this when you call this program, it could be an HTML reporting or an 8560 reporting. But of course, yeah, because you instanted this, you just say generate report, so you don't know that it is 8560, but the class itself is an 8560. So that's the concept, guys, of open clause and open clause principle, the second principle of the solid design principle. So in the above, when you have additional features, for example, there's this 856 F report and JSON report format and XML report format. You are not you are just going to add a new implementation and inherit the interface. So you are not going to change the existing code that you have extended in, in during the existing code by adding the new concrete class. So the interface I generation reporting will generate a report in any type, and your calling code can call both the classes and generate reports either in HTML, JSON, XML, or 8568, 568 like that. So what are the benefits of having these, guys? So inheritance through interface help achieve loss coupling between classes implementing the interface. So also in the dependency injection principle, which we will have an example that later on, we will talk about also interface. So when we inject it in our constructor, for example, in the WebAPI, we just use the interface, and you don't know, the calling program doesn't know what class is used in the implementation. So to add new feature, we don't change the existing code, so we don't break. Remember, we don't break existing feature because, for example, it's already deployed in the production. The UET is already done, and then you modify that existing code. So what if it will break? It will introduce a new bugs. So there is a tendency that the production will break out. Okay, so but if you just add or open an extension, add a new functionality, then the existing code that deploy is very safe. All right, so truly in real world example, open place principle in solid principle can be seen the implementation of logging frameworks. We add a logging framework to application, and from many available destination, we select a destination for logging, like file, database, or it could be a cloud or it's an SMS. So those destinations are coded using interface inheritance, keeping the open close principle in mind. So there are new destinations being added over the time with the principle of close modification, but open for connection. So yeah, guys. So you can really implement it in the same way. Lots of scenario. For example, you are also have uploading different kind of lights, different types of format. So although you just put it in one single class without using the interface, it will work. But what we are trying to achieve here is the future, the new future that coming in, right? So that is why we make our class design as close, meaning we are not going to modify it anymore when it's already deployed. But we can use it, we can to introduce new features. That is open close principle. Okay, so this is the most important design principle, guys, in Solid, as is promote interface inheritance. So interface inheritance will help us in achieving loosely coupling and to help us keep existing functionality intact. So we don't worry that it will break because it's already done, it's already passing the UAT, and already actually it's already in production. So we don't worry because it's already, we are not modifying the existing code, but ex, we're expanding it. So sometimes there will be need to change existing code to implement new feature, but design your code in just a way that implementing functionalities changes to existing code is minimal, or at least zero, or at least minimal. So that is the second principle of open solid design principle, guys, in C sharp, and this is basically created in .NET 7 uh, .NET 7 framework. Okay, so if you learn, guys, if you have suggestion, comments, or anything to discuss, just comment out in this video. And if you learn, guys, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell button so you will be notified in our upcoming videos. And yeah, thank you so much for uh, this video, and I hope you learn and we'll learn together. Happy learning, guys. Bye bye.